Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiangi met Muslim leaders at the Jamia Mosque, Nairobi on Monday. Among the key issues raised was the mistreatment of the Muslim youth in key ministries on matters national identification. Interior CS Dr. Fred Matiangi called on Muslims to remain put as the matter will be addressed accordingly.
And I am pleased to announce to you this afternoon that within this financial year, we now have resources to open up new registration and immigration structures in the north. We are going to revive our office in Garissa, and we will open it up by December, so that now we provide services and those brothers and sisters who come from that part of the country don't have to travel all the way. And we will co-locate all the services, a civil registration service for birth certificates, national registration services, because we'll take up the office of the National Registration Bureau, and then the immigration office we will co-locate. And I want to assure you, leaders, that before the end of this year, we will now have those services available and people do not have to travel long distances to get them.
When an Abdi goes to immigration in your house, he must be treated the way Kamau, Momanyi, Kiprop, and Mwanzia is treated. But I think even us as Muslim leaders, both political, religious, community leaders, women leaders, youth leaders, we must be part and parcel of protecting our country from extremist elements.
I want to assure you that there is no policy in this government to discriminate anyone. Our leadership as a government comes from the vision of our leader and our commander-in-chief, our head of state, President Uhuru Kenyatta, who believes from the deepest of his heart in one Kenya, a united nation, a united people. It is the president who has made many of these demands, saying we must always move to the public with open arms, embrace everyone, build a united front, and work with our people.
On matters terrorism, the Interior CS said the government will work closely with the relevant authorities in ensuring the country is secure from the evil of terrorism.
Terrorism is not about Islam. There are people who are actually abusing and misusing a religion of peace. These mad people had all of us. They had Muslims as much as they had Christians and faithfuls from other religions. We should never allow them to thrive in our midst. These are our common enemies. They are not Muslims. They are not Christians. They are criminals. And let us stand together and fight these people. The government of Kenya does not have a policy on extrajudicial killings. Where extrajudicial killings exist elsewhere in the world, it's part of government policy. It's a part of the security sector policy. That is how they have decided to manage their security. We in Kenya do not have an extrajudicial killing policy. That when we suspect that people have committed a crime, we kill them or we go after their life. There is no such policy in our security sector. And we've engaged with leaders from within the Muslim community. And I want to tell you very frankly, where there are cases or where there are suspicions, they are investigated.
The tough-talking CS has put on notice individuals engaging in drug trafficking, saying the government will not back down on the fight against drug lords.
Mr. Cabinet Secretary, we are cognizant of your fight against drug and substance abuse at the coast, northern Kenya and other parts of the country. Notably, drug and substance abuse has destroyed and continues to destroy the productive life of thousands of young Kenyans, plunging them into a life of deprivation, despair, and despondency. Mr. Cabinet Secretary, a whole generation is being destroyed, and young people are being led into a life of crime. We urge the government in its effort to combat these threats to not only increase penalties, enforcement, and incarceration of drug offenders, but to also focus on education, treatment, and prevention. In this war, Bwana Waziri, be rest assured, the government has the unwavering support of the Muslim community.
We have over 30 prominent cases right now, 30 prominent investigations and people in custody in the coast region alone, and we are pursuing others. as we go forward. Now is the time for us to come together, to stand together on this matter of drugs and drug trafficking and help our children. We will do our part. The entirety of our administration system is prepared and it's completely mobilized that we fight this. You can see what we are doing day in, day out. We are collecting yesterday 71 bags of bangi, where another place we are breaking into houses and so on. We are fighting this. It's a war.
The CS reiterated the need for Muslim leaders and the government to work together by forming a task force, a team that will help in ensuring the future of this country is not ruined by selfish, prominent people involved in drugs.
I am actually ready, and my colleagues too are. If we formed a small task team, we start working together. And we go into some level of detail on some of these things. Let's work together. There are quite a number of things that we may not be able to do all in an afternoon like this. Give me a small team to work with, and I'll be available to do even a monthly or quarterly meeting with a small committee that will bring issues to our radar screen when they emerge. Whatever we need to deal with, we're able to deal with it immediately, so that our people feel well served, well recognized, well treated, and of course satisfied as citizens of this country.
The coastal region and some part of the northern Kenya have been named as the most affected, with many youth in these areas involved in drugs. The CS noting the war on drugs has just begun, sentiments that were echoed by the National Assembly Majority Leader, Honorable Eden Duale.
So I think the clergy, the Muslim sheikhs, you must stand up in the pulpit. I haven't seen that most. You must stand up in the pulpit, in the Jamia Mosque on Friday, in Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, Mombasa. We must talk about drug abuse among our people. We must talk about violent extremism. We must talk about radicalization. We can no longer bury our head in the sand. We must work with the security agents, and the security agents must apply the law and protect. There's no law for Muslims, and there's no law for other Kenyans.
I have walked the streets of part of Mombasa. The other day, the IG and I and some of our colleagues from the security sector spent time walking across Kisauni from end to end. What you see is deplorable. And as leaders of this country today, if we don't speak honestly and candidly about this, we might even be cursed by God. This thing is destroying our children, period. It's taking away generations. And it is not ordinary wananchi who are selling drugs. It's not ordinary people across the road, ordinary wananchi who are moving around drugs. It's well-heeled people, well-connected people.
Speaking during the event, the Majority Leader in the National Assembly, Honorable Eden Duale, called on Muslims to work closely with security teams in ensuring the safety of Kenyans.
We, the Muslim leaders and Muslim community, have a role to play. We can no longer bury our heads in the sand. We must be part and parcel of the national security conversation in our country. We should not be only the ones who are lamenting, oh, our guy has been arrested. Yes. Or somebody has been arrested. We must be part and parcel of protecting the national security interests of Kenya and its people.
The government has put in place plans to ensure its citizens get services regardless of religion or ethnicity.
The President has instructed us firmly to ensure that we implement his vision of managing the country in an inclusive manner. And the President has asked us in the security sector particularly, not just to embrace dialogue, but to engage deeply with communities and groups of people as a way of keeping every Kenyan together. In his own words, President Kenyatta says, there is no way we can lead people if others feel that they are not part of our community.
The Interior CS, Dr. Fred Matiangi, expressed his satisfaction on the ongoing crackdown on gambling machines and betting companies in the country, stating the government will remain firm on the issue.
Finally, and I'll support you, even I'm ready to bring the law tomorrow, we must ban gambling in Kenya. Betting and gambling, we must ban. It is a threat, in fact, to national security. Those guys make close to 500 million a day. And even the people they present on TV, I'm told that they'll be given 10 million. In real sense, they're given 500,000. And I'll give you a good example. 1 month ago, my gardener from Kisii disappeared for 3 days. So the next day I saw him on KTN being given 10 million. So I told Mama, this guy is lucky. But last week he called and he said, I want my job back. So then I asked, how can a guy who got 10 million on TV to ask for his job back of 10,000?
This thing is destroying our people. Let us not accept it. There is no country, show me one country on earth that has been built as a result of this gambling. Many of you leaders who are seated here, you are business people, you are investors, you work hard, you earn your living by working hard. You do not lie in your beds and take mobile phones and look for 10 million shillings by just sending some funny text messages. Let's not socialize our children to this madness. Let's fight this thing, all of us together. Yes, I understand people tell me, oh, you know, it's providing money for our sports and so on. Come on, people. We can raise revenue and support our sports without taking our children down the drain.
Honorable Aden Duale urged the government to learn from their neighboring countries on the fight against the vice, terming gambling as a threat to national security.
So the biggest threat even to our stability is betting. Please, let's advise the president. Other countries, our neighbors have done. Rwanda has done. I think Tanzania has done. I am with you 100%. They don't pay taxes. Please fight shisha, fight drug abuse, and we, the Muslim leaders, we will stand with you to help this country in making sure we are peace and stable.
2 betting farms in September halted their operations in Kenya, putting an end to their taxation and regulatory tussle with the Kenyan government. Faisal Kasim, Horizon Reports.